Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I am going to Blaenavon Ironworks, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is owned by Cottage. It was a pre-Victorian and Victorian ironworks, one of the oldest in the world, along with Cyfarthfa and Merthyr. So I'm going to have a little explore around there today, because this is technically the second series, because I do it by a 2-yearly basis of the exploring. So without further ado, while I get a bus, I'll go to my bus stop to get to Blaenavon. Here's a little bit of history of the ironworks itself.
The history of Blaenavon Ironworks begins in 1787. The land where it stands was owned by the Lord of Abergavenny. He decided to lease the land to 3 Midland-based businessmen, Thomas Hill, Thomas Hopkins and Benjamin Pratt. They decided to build a huge ironworks with multiple blast furnaces. It took 11 years to build and it opened in 1798. It would quickly become key for international production. Blaenavon did have a small blip in 1806 after Napoleon Bonaparte introduced the continental system, which blockaded the United Kingdom from trading with the rest of Europe. After the failure of the system, Blaenavon produced and distributed iron ore to the whole of the world. It caused an industrial boom in the village due to it being rich in iron ore, coal and limestone. It was also discovered that it would be cheaper to make iron ore in Wales.
Right, I'm at the Philly bus station, so let's start this first leg of the journey to Blaenavon. I'll get onto the 50 bus to Newport, then I gotta get off at Newport to go on the X24 to Blaenavon. So it's going to be an hour long journey, so let's just get through this together. Right, I'm on the bus now in Newport on the way to Blaenavon, so let's have a look. Shouldn't be too long, an hour and I'm there. It's eerily quiet here, but I'm in Blaenavon. I'm looking ahead now at the ironworks. Doesn't look very big really, so we're gonna have a look in here. I did buy the tickets. It doesn't look like it's open, so it'd be a waste of money if I come here for this. So I'm in. Let's start. This is something else to see. It's not that big, but it's still something to see. So let's start the walkthrough. First thing I'm going to show you is this statue. What it used to look like. That's the main thing. This is like what it used to look like by here. You can see this is a bigger area, so what we're looking at by here is where we are now, these, and then you've got the Blaenavon Tower, that Cottages, but there, which have a massive chimney going through it. And then you've got all the blast furnaces behind. It's just something incredible. Let me zoom out and show you a little bit more of that. But look at that, that is something to see. So there's a lot to explore. So now we're going to go into the first cast iron house. Apparently it's got a live recreation of what things were done here. So let's have a look at that quickly. So I am approaching it right now. So this is it. This is the cast iron house. You can see the stuff left down in here, old equipment like wheels, and I think down there is our little exhibition piece. You can see they got all the iron that was produced. Have a look by here, that's some old equipment it looks like, obviously damaged through the time. Old chimney towers, probably were pumping the air out. You go through here, it's more of the old equipment. And by here is some of the stuff they produced, if you have a look. Stuff like the wheels they produced. It looks like fireplaces as well. Machinery, more wheels. It's just little things like this they used to produce. And they'll tell you by here what they used to do. I'll go down a little bit. Yeah, because this is only one of them. because in there is a little exhibition, so we're going to have a look at that now. So now this is the exhibition room. The lights do come on when you come into it, so that's fine. Wow, look at this. Iron ore. Limestone, coke, slag, iron. But one thing with this, Blaenavon, it was very, very cheap for iron, limestone, coal, coke, slag, all to be produced here. So that's the iron ore. Here's the limestone. So they used to do the kiln in here. Let's have a look at this. Furnace itself. See, this is some of the seats. So yeah, I'm just leaving one of the furnaces. That was an experience. If you look at me, it looks like one of the old towers part of the blast furnace. But one of the things with the Ironworks is that this area was very, very cheap. Before I was disturbed, actually, this was before I was disturbed by the presentation, that it was very cheap to cast the iron, source it all, and the same as coal, limestone, slag. It was easy to produce, it was cheap to produce. But then it came to the realisation that it was the best in the world. So it was so cheap, it was the best in the world. This is why this place thrived. It was the second to Cavartha, which was possibly the biggest one in the entire world, or possibly the biggest one. So now we're going to go over to some other furnaces now, before we have a look at the massive balancing tower. So we're approaching these. These are very recognisable. I think these are some of the most recognisable parts of the Ironworks. I'm probably going to get it wrong. I'm saying they've more blast furnaces, but let's have a look where they are. Oh, they are furnaces. So I was right. So this is blast furnace number 4. They're one of the things you can press but I'm not going to. Let's go up to and have a look. So here we are. See, this is one of the big furnaces. Okay, you can see where some of it's been sealed off or decaying. But that's it. There's another one by here as well. I'm not supposed to go by here, but I am. So I'm going to show you the water tower as well. Let's have a look at this now. So I got that bad boy. So this by here is the water balancing tower. Basically, this used to carry all the iron up onto the Monmouth Brecon Canal. It's a little bit flooded, so I'm gonna. I'm marshy. This is not a good sign. Just go through that way. But here we are. They used to go carry water and iron up there through weights from the water and onto the Merthyr Brecon Canal, which will then take you down to Newport Way and Cardiff Way. So yeah, that's the balancing tower. It is spectacular, let's say. So now we are going to Rock Cottage. No, Rock Cottage, that's in Barry. Stacks Cottage. Oh, I'm getting mixed up with another future video. This cottage is where the BBC series Coal House was filmed in 2007. The series basically transported people back to rural 1920s Wales, where they lived the life of someone from that era. And I think the fathers worked in the coal mines and the wives would stay at home. I think there are little exhibitions in here as well, so we're going to have a little look at them, and then we're going to go up through the balancing tower because there's more exhibition at the top to there as well. So that'll be something good to see on our way up there. So I'm doing a little bit of a circle, but there is something straight ahead I am going to show you. So yeah, this is Stack's Cottages. We're now going to have a look around now. 1840 the one door says. So let's go into the first one by here. This door, they are exhibitions as well. This is just to show you what it would look like in one of these houses. Very eerie in here, I'm not going to lie. But that's where a dining area would be like. Some bread. And this looks like a bedroom. Very low, very small beds. Sort of stuff they would have slept in this era. We're going to have a look at the next cottage in a second now, before we go into the middle courtyard bit. This is 1840, this cottage. I was 1790, so this is what it would be like in 1840. You can see the uniform from the ironworkers. This is like a kitchen area and the upstairs. I don't know if we can go up there. Doubt it. Oh, speaker. Made me jump then. About to run up here. Use wallpaper from newspapers. This is what a bedroom will look like. So yeah, this one's really creepy, I don't like it. So let's get out here. And this one is an exhibition. A mini exhibition. So by here is a cast iron pipe. This is one of the things they used to produce here. And I think this is quite cool by here. It is what like a coloured replica of what it used to look like here. And this site used to be massive, to say the least. So there's a couple of things you can press by here. Let's have a look at that. If you can hear that. Oh, I zoomed in. So there's a couple of names by here. Sydney, I think he was one of the owners of this, if I remember rightly. So we're going to go by here. What is... It looks like this was the landscape of Blaenavon by here. So what it would have looked like back then. It does say by here. Yeah, this is a little Paul Maurer's big pit, so that's where the big pit would be. Then there's the Ford side ironworks, which is another one. Then there's the brickworks, the ironworks, the town centre. This area was, the industrial landscape is massive here. See some of again more stuff that they produced. If we go over around this one, it's the Blaenavon company shop. So this was the shop for people who lived here at the site. So you got like your crockeries you can buy, your little bits and bobs, your breads, your Toby jugs, weird, and you got your balancing and everything. But yeah, this is what life used to be like if you lived on the site of the ironwork. So now we're going around the front to Stack's Cottages. Like I said, this is what people used to live in while they worked here. There's quite a few cottages in fairness, but then we are going to go up and around, and then I think we're going to end there. There's a couple more little bit of stories I need to tell you of this place, and yeah, one of those stories will involve another place that's big to Blaenavon, which I'll be looking at. So now we're going to look at the rest of the cottages. They're all exhibitions too, so let's get into them. This is recognisable if you're a fan of Coal House on the BBC. I was quite a big fan of that when I was younger. I've always been fascinated with like history since I was a really little kid, and I remember going to the big pit up the road when I was in school. So now we're going to go to eras from the 20s to the 60s, where basically to show what life was like, because it's obviously the 20s and the 60s everything was closed. So let's just go to 1927. Warrior 1927 is. Cardiff City won the FA Cup that year. And actually, before we go into there, these little sheds by here is where they used to keep the baths to. So that's interesting. So let's go to 1927, the year Cardiff City won the FA Cup. You can see the house by here. A bit more to the plates. Some chairs, a nice old stove. But you've got to remember, this is just 11 years after the First World War, so they've got imagery of the war. Nice little mirror. Got football when football was becoming a big popular professional sport. Again, more war photos. I think there's a bird in here. And this is a bedroom. I think there's a bird in here, so I'm not going to disturb it. Let's go to 1944. So 1944, a year before the end of the Second World War. So if you want the war context, in the summer they raided or landed on the beaches of Normandy. So again, this is not much different from 1927. More war photos. Nice record player. But you can see this is during the Second World War. It's because it's got the Ministry of Defence Stay Where You Are campaign. And you've got the crockeries and a nice old box of OXO cubes and starch. Remember, things were rationed at this point of the war, so things are very, very different. So let's go into 1955. Men who lived here during the era of the heyday of this place used to have to just leave their house and they're overlooking work. The noise, the heat they would have went through, the wives who were staying at home, just, it was immense to say the least. So we're going to go up the balancing tower now and underneath. But yeah, this has been good. I've enjoyed this one. Oh, and I'm going to carry on seeing. These are the old outhouses. Now let's go up and through the balancing tower. These are calcining kilns. As you know, because I've done video on kilns before, lime kilns. These are where they used to make limestone into powder sort of thing. Calciating it. So now let's go through the balancing tower. Still more to see, there's horses up there. Let's see if we can get to them. But again, you can see up there is where the water used to go through and join the Monmouth and Brecon Canal down to Newport. Then it all would go one way into the Cardiff. I think it links to the River Taftham at some point. But yeah, let's go through this tower, and then by here we can overlook the entire site from this perspective. By here, look at that. You can see in the distance by there, if I zoom in, you can see it's a bit cloudy, but that's the big pit. More on that later, because it does involve this place. But yeah, look at that, looking down at the rest of the site. So now by here is all the miniature lime kilns. So we are gonna have a little look at these quickly. I'm coming to the end of being in here. So they used to calcite lime. They look like a better condition than the Caerphilly ones. This will go where they probably used to make it. Like a works table it looks like by here. So then we're going to leave this one and have a look at the next one, which is probably very similar. You can see they're like blast furnaces, these are for lime stone. And then there's one's not in very great condition. But yeah, these are the lime kilns. So now I'm going to leave the lime kilns and go to the very last bit, which is right at the top of the balancing tower. We're going to see how the water used to flow back in the past. And then I think that's the end of it here. And I think it's a little memorial to the horses here as well, so that'll be something nice to see from that perspective. So it's been a good video. I've enjoyed this one, I really have. It's different. This is probably the furthest apart from London. Well, second furthest, third furthest I travelled to do a video. I don't regret it. I don't regret this place at all. Now this is the top of the water balance tower. Just before we go onto the tower, let's just have a look at this little memorial for the horses. They used to push the rail carts on the tracks. It is a very nice memorial, very beautiful statues. And let's have a walk to the balancing tower now. Obviously what I'm walking on by here, water used to, I think if I'm correct and rightly, water used to flow over here and link to the canal. Oh God, I don't like the height. Lucky it's fenced off. But yeah, this is something to see, to say the least. I would recommend you coming here because it's only £5.90 to come here. That's the entry cost. It's nothing really. Yeah. Oh, I don't like this at all. If you can see, this is where the lift used to be. I'm gonna zip up my pocket. I got another camera in my pocket. Oh my God, I hate this so much. But yeah. This is the water balancing tower overlooking Blaenavon. You've got the big pit there, and I think if I'm correct, over there is an old drift mine called Blaenavon. See where my finger's pointing? Or it's over there maybe, because there's a lot of coal heap. You've got to follow the coal heap. But yeah, this is where the old water tower used to go, all the way down into the Brecon and Monmouth Canal. This place did quickly decline, that's the thing, in production, trade, because Cyfarthfa was so successful, and Blaenavon did turn to other means of industry to keep itself going, because they did have a massive industrial landscape. There was another ironworks, there was stoneworks, and there was the big pit. So we're going to do a little cutaway now, and I'll tell you about the decline of the ironworks.
After James Ashrow was made managing director of the works, he oversaw a very expensive expansion of the works. The works didn't make enough money back from the mass production of iron. Ashrow was forced to resign and he was replaced by Mr. Scrivener. and he oversaw a huge rise in production to 35,549 tons of iron, but within 2 years that dropped to near 19,000 tons. To combat this, the Blaenavon company switched from iron production to steel, but the minor success did not last long. In 1878, the Blaenavon company very nearly went bankrupt due to overemployment and failing to keep up with the competition. The company needed to go to fund a construction of a new coal mine, and in 1880 the Blaenavon company opened the Big Pit Colliery and then moved away from iron production to the ever-growing coal industry. Due to the decline of the Blaenavon Ironworks, it closed in 1904 due to a lack of profit and success of the Big Pit. It did briefly open for the post wars though, but as soon as they opened, they were closed down for good. It was owned by the National Coal Board after the Second World War, and it was used as a storage yard.
So yeah, this place is one of the reasons why Blaenavon Ironworks basically declined, because you have the NCB taking over the ironworks for it to be a storage yard for this. But it's been a good adventure today. With this place, I will be doing a video here soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But I want to thank you for watching today's videos. Please like and subscribe to the channel. There'll be a lot more big videos, exploring videos coming soon. And yeah, peace out.